Welcome to Ready Set RC. And today I kind of want to follow up on a video that I saw recently from Mark Santamaria where he speaks on this car right here. And this is the Kyosho Mini-Z MR04 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. If you guys have not seen that video, go check it out. Mark has a great channel, great content. And when I saw that video, I was like, hey, you know what? I can follow up on that video because he raised the question, why isn't this car being sold as much as you would see like the MR03s or R04s with the longer wheelbase and the mid motor in there? But I'm going to even touch on it even more. I would even say that about the MA020s. Why aren't they being sold as much? And I'm going to give you the answer why, or at least what I think the answer is. One, with these cars, they have beautiful bodies, amazing bodies. This is not the first that Kyosho has ever come out with these more narrow, shorter wheelbase cars. They also had a Fairlady a few years back that came out, and a friend of mine bought that car. And the biggest problem that he would run into with that car is finding bodies that work with it. And one of the big things about these Kyoshos is that they're so realistic looking. It is a car that you're going to find a lot of people are not going to pick it up. I also find that tuning those cars are a lot more difficult than you would have with the standard MR03 longer wheelbase mid-motor vehicles. I think these are just like, it's almost like a cheat sheet on how to tune these cars. Those, not so much. You would think if you put the same formula to this car, since it's a rear-wheel drive car, that it would be the same, but it's not. The narrowness of the car, the wheelbase of it really changes the characteristics of that car. The team associated SR07 is, at least the Datsun 240, is that same wheelbase. And with this car, it was a little bit of a hassle trying to find bodies that would fit it that were not Lexan like the one that comes with this car. So that's one of the things that I would say is a detractor from people buying this model. The other option about it, and I kind of touched on that too, is the tuning of them. They're not as straightforward as these cars. To tune them and get them just right takes a little bit of finesse, those more narrow width, shorter wheelbase cars. And if you watch Mark's video, you'll see that the cars are very twitchy. At least this one is very twitchy. And I would say that's the same deal with this car as well, as it's very twitchy. If it has any characteristics that are very similar, when you take an MA020, put road tires on it, and it gives you the same characteristics as you get with the shorter wheelbase, more narrow MR04s and the MR03s. The only difference is that these cars really grab in the front when you do that. That's my opinion why these cars do not sell as well. It has nothing to do with the looks. Are they crappy? No, none of that. It's just a lot of the optional parts, the optional bodies that you're going to find are going to be geared more towards the standard size MR03 and 04. One of the options that I noticed between the shorter, more narrow wheelbase vehicles versus the longer wheelbase, wider MR03s, I noticed that with the MR03s, we had to do the kingpin flip. I will strongly suggest that's one of the most free mods you can do as soon as you get an MR03. The MR03 with the shorter wheelbase, more narrow car, you didn't need to do it at all. My friend did not do it on his Fairlady, and it drove just as well as this car. Between the MR03 and 04, at this point, I would tell anybody that is looking to get into their first Kyosho Mini-Z, don't even look at the MR03. They have made some improvements on the MR04, which you wouldn't have to do some of the mods that people are doing on the MR03. A lot of the bodies are either out or coming out that were on the MR03s. For the MR04s, they've fixed some of the issues like the kingpin flip that we used to do on the MR03s. They're not required for the MR04s. And just before we head out, I also want to talk about this beauty right here. So this is an MR03, but it is the LM, and it doesn't mean Le Mans. This is a Le Mans style body. It's a little wider than this MR03. And from what I noticed, even on my smaller test track, this thing steers way better. You can seem to take turns a lot faster with this car, at least for me, than I can with this. A lot of the times I'm taking the car off throttle to take this one in the turns on my test track. If I'm at a bigger track, I don't have that problem, but on the test track, that's what I'm noticing. This car just handles like it's on rails. I am running different ball bearings on here, and that does show some type of difference between the vehicles. This is running upgraded bearings, but they're not ceramic ball bearings. This is running ceramic ball bearings. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear that, but they're super smooth, right? A little bit, but I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to tell the difference. But that's kind of the one of the changes that I made between the two cars. If you can get yourself an LM and you're geared more towards that racing crowd, get yourself an LM. These are also available as MR04s. As I mentioned earlier, don't even waste your time with MR03s at this point. Just get it as a MR04s. The beauty of all these cars, and I mentioned this in my first Mini-Z video that I did for the channel, but this car is not running the original body. This one is. This one is not running the original body, not running the original body. With Kyosho, they sell the bodies, they call them ASCs, and these bodies are at a fraction of what you can buy the cars for. And basically, you're swapping out this plate in the front to allow the body to fit on. All you would need to do is make sure that your wheelbase and your width is going to match up with the chassis, but for the most part, yeah, that's it. And you can swap any body you want. This car was originally the Mazda, and I'm more of a Mercedes guy, so I went ahead and picked up the Mercedes body. So one thing to keep in mind, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a pro tip. If you are going to race, don't buy this body, especially for us that are, visually challenged. I wear glasses. This on a black track is not the best thing to be looking at when the car is going hella fast. So I would definitely say to yourself, get something that's visually friendly to see. That's why I have the MR03 in white versus black, because I've noticed, even though I love the black, it's harder to see in a race. As you're going to see in most of my cars going forward, a lot of them are going to be ones of color. So it's easier to see on the track to pick it up really quick. Now, I'm not a race guy, and I don't foresee myself ever being a race guy, but I like to go to my local track, drive casually, and also go on my test track just to get a feel of the car and get back into things. But just wanted to give you guys some tips that I've come along the way. As I said, these videos are going to be mainly that. I'm new into the Kyosho world. I've only been doing this now, coming 2 years. I'm just getting into it. And I don't dedicate my time as much to the Mini-Zs as I do to the larger RCs that I have on my channel. As I get time here and there, I try to get some runs in with these cars, and I'll try to continue to catalog it along the way so that you guys can see a little bit more of my voyage of the Mini-Zs. But we're going to leave it here, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for the latest posts of the channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again.